But I'm in California, in case it's not clear. I live in sunny California. It's actually overcast in the morning. We have this thing called June gloom. And Alabama. Okay, what part of Alabama, LaDerek? I actually know people that are in Lynette, which is right across the border. What's up, Coach Mikey? It's been a long time. I know people over the border in Lynette of Atlanta, but I don't know much about Alabama. I'm sorry, in Alabama, over the border. You guys, the Georgia Alabama border, in Lynette, Alabama. But I've not spent much time in Alabama outside of that. So, hello, everybody. Whether you're live with me on Instagram or YouTube, I'm just letting you know that I am doing a live and we're talking about my win is taking Terica's challenge this week. Today is the last day. Congratulations, Freddie. That's awesome. Hey, Coach Mike Kia. Oh, you got that verified thing. Okay, Bessemer, Alabama, right outside of Birmingham. Okay, what's up, Elevated Music, Alexis? Elevated Numbers, sorry. I always want to call it music. I don't know why I said that. That's not what your name is. All right, so awesome. Congratulations on taking Terica's challenge. Congratulations on everybody. Now, I have a challenge coming up. Freddie says he's going to take it. So, and I know he's finishing up one challenge going into the other. But Alexis has taken my challenge before, so I know she did it. But welcome, everybody. Welcome. We're talking, it's Friday, okay? It's the end of the work week for the 9-to-5ers. Of course, an entrepreneur can work any day. I personally don't really like to work on Fridays. I'm going to be real about that. I take Fridays off, right? I mean, I still will do a live. I'll post. I will be posting today. I've posted every day in the month of May, with the exception of the month of the day I traveled to Atlanta. Unfortunately, I did not allocate enough time to get my post in before the day end. And that's on me. I was hanging out and I forgot to get a post in. But so it's not that I couldn't have got a post in, I just didn't. But I also give myself grace because sometimes it's not so much about that you fell off, it's more that you got back on, right? So that's something about consistency, right? Sometimes we beat ourselves up about how we fell off and we don't spend enough time of, like, oh, I got back on though, right? So I've posted 11 of the 12 days in May. That's pretty good, right? So that's what's so much more important than getting all caught up in I fell off, because we do that a lot. Hello, whoever's on YouTube, let me know where you're at and what's going on, because I'm over here on Instagram talking to my people, talking to you. But I want to talk today about Friday. I was thinking, I came up on my walk, but it was, who were you this week? Everybody wants to know what you did, right? Everybody wants to know what you did. Remember, it's be, do, have. Everybody focuses on the do. What'd you do this week? 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 I got a better question. Who were you this week? Who were you this week? Right? And you say, well, what does that mean? I was Freddie. I was Kia. I was Alexis. Well, there's a better way to answer that. Okay? And if you're watching on YouTube, if you happen to still be here, go ahead and let me know where you're at. So I am going to be more intentional about my lives, but who was I this week? I was someone that overall, a mom and a coach were the two hats I wore this week. Okay, Mikea, you haven't taken my course, and not that you have to, but that is the roles that you played, but I want to know, who were you this week? Ooh, who were you this week? Now, there's a deeper identity that's not being, so like, yes, we executed as a mom, as a coach, but who is the woman that's underneath the mom and the coach, right? So I'm going to answer the question, and I want you guys to think about answering the question too. So who was I this week? I was someone who got triggered, who forgot what, that I am always, that my choosing myself matters. I am someone who, was a light in the lives of others and had an opportunity to inspire. And okay, there you go. That's what's up. Who was I? I was fierce. I was exhausted. Exactly. So we have a chance to really talk about who we were, right? Who we were this week, right? So I was definitely someone who owned my awesome in some parts. I lost a little bit of the thread, but I also had a great examination. But overall, I am someone who knows that I'm irreplaceable, who is human, who's going to have my moments, but also that I got back on. I was, those are the things. I want to know, who were you this week rather than what you did, right? Because everybody focuses on what they did. What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? No, who were you this week? And I want you to start thinking that answer more and more, more and more. Who was I this week? Who was I this week? Who was I this week? Right? That way we start to pay attention to who we're being, because the doing springs from the being. If I'm someone who identifies as someone who always gets it done, right? Then I was an executor. I was someone who, worked hard, right? Now those are still doing, but you also want to say, well, like, I was determined. I had integrity, those type of things. So I want you to think deeper about who were you and who you're being right now as you're watching this live. Who you're being in every moment is more important than what you're doing, believe it or not. What you're doing springs from who you're being. So I want you to pay more attention to who you're being, right? When you find yourself getting really frustrated with someone or something, then you just have to look to the being of, who am I being? Someone who feels like things don't work out for me, or that I have to struggle to get people to listen to me, to understand. So we want to get to a place where we're not, like, if I know the truth of who I am, then I can sort of move through this more gracefully. I can move through this in a way that isn't going to be like, I don't have to be triggered by it. I don't have to act a certain way. Hey, Mr. Great One, welcome to the live. So we're talking about, who were you this week? What kind of person, who were you versus what did you do? And I know it's easier to answer what you did. Oh, I made these calls. I did these things, but who was the person making the calls, right? If you think about, it's like, I can make 5 calls, right? But if on those attempts of 5 calls, I was feeling as someone who nobody wants to do business with, that doesn't seem to sign clients or doesn't have the best fortunes, then it's going to be a different outcome for those 5 calls than someone who gets on those calls believing in themselves. Does that make sense? Put a 1 in the chat if what I'm saying is making sense. I'm asking because I want us to start looking at who we're being moment to moment to moment, rather than paying only attention to what we're doing. Who is the one making the calls? I am, when I pick up that phone, I'm a closer. I'm excellent. And I have something that everyone needs, versus I am, like, I'm just going to make these calls. I got to get these calls. I got to get them knocked out. But then we get on the calls and then we're sort of like, hey, blah, 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 blah. But we don't really feel like anyone's going to actually sign up with us. We don't really feel like what we have is valuable. We don't really feel like what we're doing is the best. So then it's like, well, now that activity that you did is going to be not as effective because of who you're being in the process of what you're doing, right? So that's the doing springs from the being. So if I get on the phone confident, if I'm a confident individual, if confidence is who I believe I am, then my output is going to be significantly better than someone who gets on the phone and feels like, doesn't really work for me, right? So, but we also have to practice non-attachment, right? So a confident person doesn't worry about if they got 5 no's. It's more about, who was I on those 5 calls and how did I execute on those 5 calls, rather than being outcome focused, right? But when it's somebody who is, attached to the outcome, as like, I'll feel better when I find out if they want to buy from me, do business with me, etc., then now I'm sort of like that high-low player. If I make a basket, I feel good. If I don't make a basket, I suck. And so we want to get to a place where we're not focused on the outcome. We're focused on who we're being in the process. Who we're being in the process. And no matter how many at-bats I have, I'm not going to let the fact that whether I hit the ball or not impact how I feel as a hitter. Does that make sense? Because I know who I am, right? And sometimes you're going to get struck. You're going to strike out. You're not going to hit every time. Not every player has a home run every time at bat. But it's the knowing that in general, I do well every time I play baseball, basketball, soccer, football, entrepreneurship, whatever your business is. So it's getting to a place of putting out there, like, I am going to start believing in myself and be the person that I know I am, regardless of whether I win or not. And win, again, wins are up to you. Define them how you want. Define them how you want. Don't get caught up in, did I close the sale? Did I not close the sale? Just focus on, I had a lot, like focus on breaking down the process, right? If I was to be, when I work with my athletes, obviously we look at film. We don't look at the whole game and say, well, you lost, you sucked, or you won, you sucked, right? You were great. There's so many moments where there's opportunities to evaluate what really happened, right? So same thing. Who was I in the beginning of the call? I was confident, or I was not confident. My voice was low. I was kind of talking really fast because I was nervous, right? And then as I settled into the call, I slowed down. I felt like I developed some confidence. I got some steam. So I was definitely a different person, a different state of me in this and this. Okay, Freddie, that's what's up. Freddie got the ticket for the challenge. We in there. We in there. Freddie's in the challenge. I'm so excited. So at that point, what we need to know is that we are going to look at all the different things that we have, and we say, okay, who was I in the beginning, the middle, and the end of that call? How was I, who was I showing up as? And then I can basically take that data and improve how I show up on calls, and eventually the results will take care of themselves. The results will take care of themselves. But those of us that continue to wait to see, when is everything, how is everything going to be? Or like, oh, did I win? Did I get the sale? Oh, no. Then you didn't really notice. Like, well, if you say, well, what happened? Well, I think I was kind of nervous on the call, but it's more just like, who am I going to be? So before you pick up the phone, you should be deciding. If I was to step in the shoes of someone that believed in themselves, what would that look like? What would that feel like? And then make the call, right? Versus, I'm just going to make these 5 calls. Intention matters. Intention, what you pay attention to, right? But you need to be intentional about your attention. So who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who's the one that's doing this live, right? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Okay? So we're going to be intentional. Hey, Big Ray, how you doing? It's good to see you, sir. So who am I being when I'm making the calls? Who am I being when I'm doing this live? Who am I being when I'm having interactions with my friends? Who am I being when I'm talking to my spouse or significant other? Who am I being when I'm being with my family? Not what am I doing? Everybody is so focused on doing. It's supposed to be do, have, but everybody's all do, have, be, right? Like, I guess I'll figure out what I am based on my results. But if you always define yourself based on your results, when you don't have results, then you disappear. I'm going to say that again. If you always define yourself based on results, when you don't have results, then the you that you feel disappears. Like, I don't have value. I'm nobody. I'm nobody if I don't have anything on a balance sheet. But that is a mistake. And this is what leads to depression and all of that. It's like we got to define who we are absent the results, because it's not to say don't go for results. It's not to say don't pay attention to that. But if you're going to spend all your time, hey YouTube, how you doing? I don't know who's with me, but put a comment in the chat if you're watching me on YouTube so that I know who you are. Welcome. But if you're going to define yourself always by what happened, and then there's sometimes nothing happening, then it's like, oh, who am I then? Who am I? So knowing that the you-ness of everything is constant and consistent. Yes, of course, continue to take actions that you feel inspired to do. But don't just focus on, oh, I don't know. Like, did I have a good day? Well, I don't know. I didn't sell anything. I didn't make any money. Nobody, told me they liked me today. Nobody did whatever. And it's like, well, that's what we don't want. We don't want it to be defined based on that. We want to say, I am valuable because I am, period. I am valuable because I am, period. I am valuable because I am, period. Right? Not I am valuable because I am successful. I have money. I have a relationship. Those are conditional. Now we're conditioning the I am, right? The real name of God, supreme being, universe, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter to me. I am is I am that I am. There is no condition that is necessary because the I amness is the constant, the container, the space where you have your experiences. So you don't want to condition it. There's nothing wrong with conditioning with positive things like I am rich, I am wealthy, I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I'm confident, all of that. But as long as you understand that those are conditional, the I amness is the consistency, right? It's always there. Even when you say I am lazy, I am terrible. Okay, no problem, Laderick. Thank you so much. Laderick, have you I don't know if you wrote challenge in the chat, but think about joining the challenge. It starts Monday, $97 for general admission, and VIP is $297. So consider joining. It starts Monday. Would love to have you. Okay, but yeah, I feel you. Go back and do your world, do your life. Hey, Lily Love Jones, welcome to the live. So I'm so grateful that you guys are getting value from this. So grateful that you're getting stuff. I'm just going to write, hi, YouTube, because I don't know who's there. I don't know who's there. So, Freddie, you still with me, I think? And like I said, I don't know who's watching over on YouTube, but I'm grateful. I'm just going to start going live on YouTube more because I want to do intentional lives for YouTube. And my name's Brent. I'm a pro mindset development coach. I help you go pro with your mindset. So if you're someone that is needing help with, stopping with identifying with the negative thoughts in your head, feeling like you're constantly combating the energy around you, and procrastinating, start stopping, self-sabotage, lack of confidence, then that's one of the reasons that you would look to do things with me. I have a 5-day challenge coming up. And it is starting on Sunday for VIP. It's just a kickoff call. It's 1 hour. I know it's Mother's Day, but if you just do it after you hang out with Mom at 6 o'clock in the East Coast time, you can still spend plenty of time with Mom, be on that call, and then get back to the festivities. And for the West Coast, of course, it would be 3 to 4. And then VIP is all week. VIP and general admissions all week. We start at 3 for VIP, and we start at 4 for general admission. Pacific Standard Time, or 6 for VIP for Eastern Standard Time, and 7 for general admission. So anyway, let me go ahead and just drop this link in the chat for the YouTube. But the big thing is, who are you being? So I want you just to keep asking yourself, who am I being right now, right? Why didn't I go over and talk to that person? Because I was telling myself I wasn't, think about it. Some of the reasons you don't do things is you can say, well, who am I to go talk to that person? Or why would they want to talk to me? Well, because everyone wants to talk to me. I identify as someone that is always valued what I have to say, or people enjoy interactions with me. But if I'm always thinking about the fact that, I don't measure up, then I'm going to not walk across the room. I'm not going to maybe raise my hand. I'm not going to go to that event, because I'm identifying as a lesser than individual. So we want to look at not just what we're doing, but who we're being in every moment, because our doing springs from our being. So everyone that's telling you do, they're forgetting that one of the reasons you have trouble. So if you're somebody who's like, I have trouble doing, I just don't do the way I would like to, it's because of your being. And you're missing that because you're skipping over it and then attempting to get this version of you to act like a different version, to act like a different version, but not changing into the version of you that does. And I know that sounds a little bit convoluted perhaps and confusing, but I hope that makes some level of sense based on how I've broke it down, right? And if you have questions, type them in the chat. I'm happy to answer it. I love when people challenge me in particular, because I want to make sure that you get that, it's all about the being. It's all about the being. Who am I being? And this is moment to moment awareness. So who am I being right now on this live? And I just read a post that said, if you had everything you wanted, like the money, the relationship, the material things, the houses, the cars, and the health, your body looked the way you wanted it to, everything was just kind of clicking on all cylinders in all the different areas and quadrants of your life, how would you be feeling right now? How do you imagine you'd be feeling right now? Or who do you believe you would be right now? Hey, JT Morrell, how you doing? It's good to see you. And if you're not already subscribed or following me on YouTube or on Facebook, Instagram, please do. I go live pretty regularly, so would love to have you. And make sure you say hi wherever you're, watching. But the big thing is you want to look at, who am I being? 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 Right? And then you kind of say, well, if I was the version of myself that had all the stuff, the success, the relationship, the health, and all the material stuff, who would I be? Right? And it'd be like, well, I probably wouldn't be sitting here beating myself up for what I didn't do yesterday. I would probably be sitting here feeling pretty good, pretty at peace, calm, feeling confident, self-assured, like I definitely had value, whatever it is, versus the version of me that might be sitting here thinking less than, or whatever the case is. So I'm just sharing that with you to start to plant the seed of, who are you being right now? Who are you being? Who are you being? Who are you being? And only you can answer that. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just about awareness, right? So it's not like, right now I'm being someone that feels like I'm not doing a great job. Great. That's good. That's great information for you. That's not a bad thing, believe it or not. This is good information. This is not bad information, because now you know, okay, well, I know what that feels like, to feel less than. What does it feel like to feel complete, whole, perfect? What does that feel like? And if you just put your hand on your body somewhere, doesn't matter where, you can put it on your chest. Of course, most people feel like if you say, who are you? People point to the heart, right? So you can just kind of put your hand on your heart, and you can just kind of close your eyes, and you can just imagine what that would feel like, to feel like someone who did love themselves, who did feel worthy, who was confident, who felt like they added value. I imagine those two feelings would feel different. You would feel some sense of difference, right? And so now your work is to feel more into the being of the person that is versus the person who isn't. Okay? And I know that sounds like, but then what do I do? It's like, well, it'll take care of itself. The more you identify as someone who has all the qualities, all of the, and is feeling whole, perfect, and complete, the more you'll see your doing will change. Then you won't second guess yourself when you want to cross the room. It doesn't mean it'll fix itself overnight. I'm not saying that. This is not some sort of magic potion or formula. But, oh, sorry, I thought I had added those things. I'm sorry. All right. So, I guess it doesn't have to add like that. Anyway, but the big thing is you want to get to a place where you no longer have to constantly feel like, what should I do? It starts to take care of itself the more you slowly sort of pivot into 2.0 version of yourself, etc. So I know it's Friday. I hope you guys have had a fantastic week. It is 12:37 on the East Coast, 9:37 here in California. I've already biked and meditated for the day. I've had some meetings, and I haven't eaten breakfast. I did have a bar after I got back from my bike, but I've got to work out. So I think before I eat breakfast, I'll do my workout, then I'll eat breakfast, and then I'll, start my day. But I really appreciate you guys watching this live, forever, however long you've been with me, whether you're on YouTube or Instagram. I'm looking at my computer here, is where my YouTube stuff is happening, and my what do you call it? My phone. That's what it's called. It's called a phone. Is where Instagram is. I like to be able to see the comments, and you can't see the comments when you're on Instagram, so I don't like that. So I like to, even though I can go live to Instagram allegedly through this, I like to see the comments, because I want to see that Tammy said hello, and that Freddie told me that he signed up for the challenge. What's up? Tammy, are you taking the challenge again? I felt like you wanted to take it this week. I'm not pressuring you, of course, but I thought you said you wanted to. But, no pressure. But I'm following up with the people that said they wanted to take it, to make sure they sign up so that we can have a very rich VIP session. So I may contact you again if you don't write in the chat right now. But please let me know. That's it, guys. 5-day challenge coming up. It's the Take Your Mindset Pro Challenge. For those of you that don't know, I work with professional and elite athletes and all that. So any of you that want to take the challenge again, if you've taken it before, it's a good time to refresh it. So that's happening. It's starting Monday through Friday, okay? And that's 6 to 8 Eastern Standard Time, and 3 to 5, I guess, if you do VIP. In Pacific Standard Time. Hey, Desiree, what's up? But let's get signed up for the challenge. Just go to my link in my bio, or it's Take Your Mindset Pro, www. You have to put the www.takeyourmindsetprochallenge.com/join-now. And I put the link is in my bio. I'd say when you do the challenge, it depends. Some people take one after the other, but I would say probably once every 3 to 5 months would be good. Kind of like when I get my haircut, they say 3 to 4 months, because we're always constantly changing. So it's good to refresh yourself on information, but I wouldn't take it every month unless like my clients get to take it more often, because while they're on the roster, I may do a challenge like twice during their tenure as a client. But and they found it valuable both times they've taken it. It's a great reminder. And but I don't recommend taking the challenge all the time, but yeah, if you only taken it once, then, and you haven't done anything for your mindset in a while, yeah, it's a good time to refresh. But this will be your first time, Freddie, I think. I don't think you've taken it before. So, definitely looking forward to having you in the challenge, and then anyone else and the only reason I'm saying retake it is because Tammy took it and Desiree took it, the other two people that were here. So they have taken it already. So they've also become clients. Tammy is a client. Well, was a client, is a client. I mean, technically, I love my clients lifetime. Yeah, I thought so, Freddie. And Desiree. Desiree was in my first cohort, and I think Tammy was in my third or second when I started doing group coaching. So I'm grateful for my clients. They're amazing. I love them. And I call them and check on them here and there. And, they know that I'm always in their corner no matter what. They're with me for life. Like, once you work with me, anyway, I'm with you for life because I want that. Yes, exactly. So would love to have you, Freddie. I'm excited to have you in the challenge. And anyone else that wants to sign up, you go to the link in the bio or the link that's in the comments below in the chat here on YouTube. But the big thing is go take care of things, get yourself right for yes, Tammy took it twice. I think you took it 3 times, didn't you, Tammy? Because didn't you pay one time and then you took it while you were a client maybe twice? I feel like you took it 3 times. I could be wrong though. But anyway, Arm Her Elegance, welcome to the live. Arm Here. Yeah, I think it's Arm Her Elegance. So, welcome to the live on Instagram. And like I said, whoever's over on YouTube, thanks for hanging with me for a few moments, whatever it is. Make Women Dance. What's up, Matthew Bryson? Good to see you. Flourish. But yeah, so we're just looking for you guys to decide whether you want to take the challenge or not. It's happening Sunday kickoff for VIP. You get an hour of coaching, hot seat coaching with me. The hour is amazing. It's such a rich session because you get to hear people ask questions that you never thought of. So that's why I recommend the VIP. Hey, Downs Mickey, what's up? How you doing? Yeah, so I recommend the VIP session. If you don't follow me on Instagram or YouTube, it's just Bryn Drescher is my name on both places. Bryn Drescher, first and last name on all social media platforms. You can follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all of that. The challenge will be facilitated on Zoom, so you will need to sign up for that. You can't just join the challenge via via YouTube or whatever. But it's a 5-day mindset challenge, which helps you really get started. And we're kind of going into the second quarter of the year here. I mean, we're in the second quarter, but we're getting into the second half of the year shortly. So it's a great way to go with some momentum into that second half. So if you have not taken my challenge, I recommend it. You just write challenge in the chat right now on Instagram. And then you can click the link over on YouTube. So thank you guys for watching my live. Do you have any questions while I'm here? If anybody wants anything, they have a question, just type it in the chat. You can also press the camera button right there and you can come on and you can talk, right? And so if you are someone who's watching and you want to ask a question, you can just press the plus button on the camera and just come right on the live and I'll be happy to answer your question. We did a little Q&A yesterday during my live, and then I'm gonna post on Instagram and do a workout because I'm gonna go see a house here in a little bit, so I need to be showered and ready to do that. It's going once, going twice, 3 times sold. Nobody has any questions. Nobody's gonna come on the live. Then I guess I will move on. I will move on with my life. All right, guys, have a fantastic day. Be awesome, and I will see you next time.